for the morning. We'll talk about those temps, how they'll rebound into the warm area. Plus, we'll have rain in the forecast. Yep, more rain. Details coming up.
Right now on WJBF News Channel 6 at 11, the votes are in from the primary today. Before Super Tuesday, we'll tell you who took the victory tonight in the Palmetto State as your News at 11 starts right now.
Live from Television Park, this is WJBF News Channel 6 at 11.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Wes Cooper. It's a pleasure to have you with us on this very busy Saturday here at Television Park. Coverage you can count on begins tonight with results from today's primary, with 81% of the ballots counted statewide for Vice President Joe Biden. With a resounding win over Bernie Sanders, Biden was the heavy favorite coming in, but this race was called very early tonight. Biden took the stage in Columbia, South Carolina. After he was declared the winner tonight, he told supporters South Carolina is just the first step on his way to the White House.
If Democrats nominate me, I believe we can beat Donald Trump. Keep Nancy Pelosi in the House of Representatives as Speaker and take back the United States Senate.
Following a third-place finish, billionaire Tom Steyer, who had put all of his hope in South Carolina, announced he was suspending his campaign. There were 7 names on today's ballot, but most focused on Senator Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden, the declared winner in South Carolina tonight. News Channel 6's Ashley Osborne talked to Bernie while he was in Aiken on primary eve.
Fight for economic justice, social justice, racial justice, and environmental justice.
Senator Bernie Sanders was the front runner heading into South Carolina's Democratic primary on Saturday, and the projected battle with Biden proved to be accurate. South Carolina voters have spoken. Former Vice President Joe Biden is their choice.
Thank you, South Carolina.
This was a Democratic presidential preference primary. Aiken County Board of Elections Michael Bond says that does not mean only Democrats voted.
Anybody can vote in the primary. We have open primaries. We don't register by party in South Carolina.
Some Republicans encouraged others to vote for Sanders. Even the president himself asked his supporters to vote for the Vermont senator.
Crazy Bernie?
Check out what this commenter said. We all need to vote for Bernie Saturday. He's one candidate that we can beat in November. So we asked Sanders about his electability.
Republicans in South Carolina want you to win. In fact, I was talking to a South Carolina lawmaker, a Republican one yesterday. His direct quote, Senator, was this: "We want Bernie to win because we think Biden would be harder to beat." Why do you disagree?
Because we are by far the strongest campaign to defeat Donald Trump. And if Republicans want me to win, that's great, because they're going to learn in November that that is a really bad mistake.
Signs at polling stations showed voters who dropped out before Saturday. One name still in the race, but not on South Carolina's ballot: former New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg. His camp says it won't make much of a difference since South Carolina is historically a red state.
These people are crazy.
Now Biden hoping to ride the momentum into Super Tuesday.
I'm optimistic about the whole process from here on out.
Reporting from Aiken County, South Carolina, I'm Ashley Osborne.
Thank you, Ashley. Now that South Carolina voters have spoken, what can we expect going forward? News Channel 6's Brad Means takes a look.
Well, we are so fortunate to have with us during the South Carolina primary and, of course, throughout the election season, Augusta University political scientist Craig Albert. Dr. Albert, thanks for being with us for the primary, where you think this could be the start of something big for Joe Biden.
Absolutely. For those nationwide voters that weren't happy with his performance so far in the first 3 elections, this is going to give them some vigor. They're going to say, hey, I was considering Sanders because you want to vote for the winner, but now Biden won South Carolina, and they're going to say, okay, it's okay to vote for Biden. He's going to be the winner on Super Tuesday, for instance.
So you like the traction that he has going into Tuesday, because we do have 2 primaries, this one and a ton of them on Tuesday, so close together.
That's right, and I think this is what he wanted to do. He put his whole ground campaign in South Carolina so that it could position him for Super Tuesday. He's been in politics a long time. He knew his game going into this.
All right, so Sanders had the spotlight for the past few weeks. Maybe it's Biden's turn.
That's right, but Sanders will be a close second.
Craig Albert, thanks for joining us now, and as I mentioned, all the way up until November.
News Channel 6 was also at the polls today to catch up with voters. Here's Ashley Flette with more.
Polls opened bright and early this morning at 7 and closed at 7 p.m. We visited several of those polling locations, and some of the people working the polls tell me, despite predictions of a low turnout in Aiken County, people were waiting in line to vote when those polls opened. Saturday called for primary voting in South Carolina, and those who made their way to the polls saying that now more than ever, change is needed. 3 million people are registered to vote in South Carolina, but turnout here in Aiken was expected to be low. Still, the voters I spoke with say they were excited to exercise their right to vote. Gloria Reynolds tells me she has high expectations, but the real question is what reality will hold.
You know, we're not going to always get what we want, but we got to do better. And right now, I don't want to talk bad to nobody, but it's just bad. You know, and we need somebody that's gonna, first of all, have respect, you know, and treat people fairly. I mean, no matter what race.
Count on WJBF News Channel 6 for more election coverage throughout the night.
Thank you, Ashley. Looking ahead to the upcoming week, early voting begins in Georgia Monday. That will be for the March 24th primary. Locally, you can also vote for the transportation sales tax to be extended, but polls will be different this year. You'll see a new touchscreen voting machines that dispenses a paper ballot.
It gives the voter an opportunity to confirm and see for themselves their choices before the vote is actually cast, because you don't cast your vote until you put the paper ballot into the tabulator.
Early voting runs until March 24th. Voters in today's primary called healthcare the top issue facing the country. South Carolinians named healthcare more important than the economy, climate change, immigration, and guns. That's a big difference from Iowa and New Hampshire. Turning now to the latest on the coronavirus, one person in the U.S. is now dead after contracting the virus. That case was coming out of Washington State. This is the first case to result in death out of the U.S. Officials say the patient was in his 50s and had other underlying health issues. Another case was confirmed out of California, bringing the total number of cases to 2, both coming from an unknown origin. 2 kids were sent home from school earlier this week for possible exposure to the coronavirus.
Absolutely go to an emergency room. If they develop more mild symptoms, you want to check in with your healthcare provider. If you don't have a healthcare provider, then you want to call either your local hospital emergency room or your local Department of Public Health.
The Centers for Disease Control is now permitting states to do their own virus testing. The goal is to have every state and local health department up and running by next week with testing kits.
Outside today, 60 degrees was our high temperature, low 36, so a little bit below average as we finish out this month of February. And as we look outside right now, J. Philippe Skyview and our camera from Television Park, temperature out there already pretty chilly, 37 degrees. We're expecting temperatures to drop off significantly more as we move here throughout the evening. You can see why all this cold air making a push down here the East Coast, getting all that cold air. So we're going to talk about that. You'll notice the way high pressure is circulating. We're circulating in the cold air from the north. High pressure is going to move, and then it's going to start to pump in this warm air from the south. Our temperature is going to take a jump up. We'll talk about that and some rain chances. Details in a bit. Wes?
Thank you, Micah. A historic pecan tree in Augusta has been chopped down. The tree was at 460 Green Street in downtown Augusta. It was one of the oldest and largest pecan trees in Georgia. Pecan trees are known as slow growers, and this one may be more than 200 years old. Crews starting cutting it down for safety concerns this morning. A 60-ton crane was used to lift the wood. South Carolina facing a lawsuit for their education guidelines. We'll hear from patients after Micah's full forecast.
Attention viewers, WJBF News Channel 6 and MeTV will soon be moving to a different frequency. What does this mean for you? Well, if you use an antenna to watch free over-the-air TV, you'll need to rescan your television on March 13th to continue receiving our programming. If you have cable or satellite TV, this change will not affect you. For information on how to rescan your TV, visit WJBF.com. Plan to rescan on March 13th.
Take yourself to the islands with Zaxby's Caribbean Jerk Boneless Wings with the tropical blend of mango, habanero, and exotic island spices. The Caribbean Jerk Boneless Wings and new filet sandwich meal. 2 more reasons you're going to get a kick out of Zaxby's.
Earning on that eclair. Don't touch it. Don't touch it yet. Let me get the big one.
This one?
No.
This one?
Yes. No. The big one.
They're all the same size.
With Freedom Unlimited, you're always earning. Let me get them all. Let me get them all. I came inside.
It's dinner time in America, and the breadwinner arrives home from a long day at work. Now the family can sit down at the table, where everyone knows to be mindful of their manners.
Dinner time has changed. Our quality hasn't. Reynolds Wrap, foil made in the USA since 1947.
Our story defines a passion dedicated to you. We translate discoveries into life-changing treatment options, train tomorrow's doctors and nurses, and lead the battle to cure cancer. We care for children with unparalleled expertise and compassion. Our story is told every day by advancing the power of you. We are Augusta University Health.
Caribbean Jerk boneless wings are back with a blend of mango, habanero, and exotic island spices. And introducing the Caribbean Jerk sandwich meal with banana peppers and Caribbean Jerk sauce. Caribbean Jerk boneless wings and new filet sandwich meal. 2 more reasons you'll get a kick out of Zaxby's.
Live Viper 6 Skyview Network, powered by Jiffy Lube Multicare. Now, your most accurate forecast with WJBF Live Viper 6.
Jiffy Lube Skyview Network camera here from the News Talk WGAC studios. Clear conditions outside and temperatures out there a little bit chilly here this evening as we're sitting at 37 already in Augusta, 31 in Aiken. Hey, we're already below freezing in Aiken, Saluda, near freezing in Edgefield, so it is cold outside. I know you're thinking, hey, March is tomorrow. Shouldn't it be warm out there? Well, you know how it goes here in the South. There's always a couple little extra bursts of winter right when you think you're getting out of it. So we got the cooler temperatures here, and you can see the winds have really dropped off. You know, earlier tonight we were on 5 to 10 miles per hour, and I said, hey, we need those winds to drop off and the skies to be clear for our temperatures to fall. Well, here you go, calming our winds here, and of course the skies are clear too, clear on the radar. So clear skies and low winds mean we got those chilly temperatures. Now, that high pressure, like we talked about earlier, is going to move off to the east, and it's going to start to wrap in warm air from the south. But when it brings in all that warm air, it's also going to bring in a lot of moisture off the Gulf, and we're going to see some scattered showers as we go through Monday. A few little rain chances there. More rain as we move here into Tuesday. Tuesday morning, we'll watch as this system right here pushes its way across, impacting us later on Tuesday as well. And then eventually the full cold front comes through and probably brings us some rain for Wednesday and maybe even into Thursday morning. So a lot of rain chances ahead for this week. I know that's not what you want to hear, especially if you live down by the river. So much rain so far, but still some more here in the forecast. But none tonight. Clear skies, cold conditions as we sit in the mid-20s. Please remember, don't forget, when it gets this cold, you got to keep yourself warm, your family members warm, have your pets in a place where they can stay warm. And if you put some plants out early, you might want to bring them back inside because that is pretty cold weather for plants to deal with. But by the afternoon, you're back in the mid-60s, sunny skies, a pleasant day with calm, sunny conditions. Now, we get into the 7-day forecast, and you see that we do warm up. We get back in the mid-70s by Tuesday and Wednesday. Some almost spring-like conditions there, but along with the spring temps come the spring showers, and we might see a little rain chance there on Monday, but better rain chances for Tuesday, Wednesday, into Thursday morning, and then our skies will clear out heading into next weekend. So for the folks who always complain to me that we have bad weather on the weekends, well, here you go. Clear weather this weekend, clear weather next weekend. You just got to deal with some rain in between.
Might have to hit the greens sometime soon.
Yeah, either tomorrow if you can stand the cold, or maybe wait till next weekend.
All right, thank you, Micah.
Yep.
The Palmetto State is facing a lawsuit, a part of its education guidelines when it comes to sex education in classes. Here's Henry Coburn with the latest on the suit and local reactions.
The National Center for Lesbian Rights and Lambda Legal filed the lawsuit Wednesday. It challenges the legality of the state's Comprehensive Health Education Act of 1988, which prohibits health education teachers of discussing LGBTQ+ relationships unless the discussion involves sexually transmitted diseases. The student specifically listed in the lawsuit is from a Greenville County school. The lawsuit says the law enables bullying of that student and will further subject him to unequal treatment in health classes. The Greenville County School District told 7 News they have to uphold state law, but local LGBTQ rights advocates disagree.
It's people othering. It's a us and them kind of thing. But again, for me, I feel like the school has an obligation to care for every child.
Homosexuality is only discussed in terms of the transfer of sexually transmitted diseases. So I know of one complaint that we have received from a parent saying that it needs to be broader, and of course we referred that parent back to the state because it is directed in state law.
Today, 7 News asked upstate parents how they felt about the law and the lawsuit trying to overturn it.
To each his own belief, but I believe by the Bible.
If a teacher explained to them what is the correct answer for their self, it'll be better.
I think it's bad because I feel that everyone should know about anything that's going on in this world.
When asked for his opinion on the current legality of the law, South Carolina Attorney General Alan Wilson said a court would likely conclude the law violates the Equal Protection Clause. Still ahead, African-American businesses owners took to Washington to talk administration policies. We'll take a closer look at those policies after this break. But first, here's a look at your winning lottery numbers. Your pick 3 evening numbers are 701, and your pick 4 evening numbers are 8368. And the Palmetto Cash 5 numbers are 28, 28, 29, 35, and that power up number is 3.
The WJBF Live Viper 6 Skyview Network, brought to you by Jiffy Lube Multicare.
This is big, double dozen big. It's Captain D's new double dozen shrimp. Yeah, you heard that right. 2 dozen golden, crispy shrimp piled high on one plate. Time to double down when the captain is coming. Captain D's.
Did you know that Febreze Air Effects uses 100% natural propellant? Cheaper aerosols use artificial propellants. That's why Febreze works differently. Plus, it eliminates odors with a water-based formula and no dyes. For freshness you'll enjoy.
Diarrhea? Pepto Diarrhea to the rescue. Its 3 times concentrated liquid formula coats and kills bacteria to relieve diarrhea. The leading competitor only treats symptoms. It does nothing to kill the bacteria. Treat diarrhea at its source with Pepto Diarrhea.
The chance, an open look for 3. Finds his man. Time running out, drives the lane.
Time's running out. Get to Nissan now for big President's Day savings on our entire lineup, like the award-winning Nissan Rogue and Altima. It's car buying season. Hurry to Nissan, official partner of the NCAA. Get 0% financing for up to 72 months on 12 models, or save up to $10,070 on select models. Get to Nissan now.
The Rooms to Go anniversary sale is going on now, so move your feet. Our suppliers have lowered prices, so we can save you big store-wide with 60-month interest-free financing on incredible styles starting at $599. Amazing pieces, beautiful rooms, great sale prices, plus 60-month interest-free financing and low monthly payments. Just move your feet to the Rooms to Go anniversary sale going on now.
It's either the assurance of a 165-point certification process, or it isn't. It's either testing an array of advanced safety systems, or it isn't. It's either the peace of mind of a standard unlimited mileage warranty, or it isn't. For those who never settle, it's either Mercedes-Benz Certified Pre-Owned, or it isn't. The Mercedes-Benz Certified Pre-Owned sales event, now through March 2nd, only at your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer.
The WJBF News Channel 6 Sports Desk is brought to you by John Foy and Associates.
Knowing your rights is half the battle. Let me handle the rest.
Welcome back, everybody. The Trump administration says its policy are helping African-American business owners. This week, the White House put those initiatives front and center as a part of its Black History Month celebrations. Here's Trevor Shirley with more.
I think these policies have been tremendous.
Steel company owner Barb Smith says President Trump is helping her business and others by removing barriers to success.
This administration definitely is trying to pinpoint what's keeping small minority women-owned businesses from thriving.
Smith was a guest at a White House event highlighting the administration's programs to help minority business. Ashley Bell is a White House advisor.
The people in the room today come from places that have heard a lot of promises from a lot of politicians from a lot of years past. What we're doing today is offering opportunity right now.
The president points to opportunity zones, which are supposed to encourage investment in struggling minority communities. And in light of the White House's outreach initiative, some members of the Congressional Black Caucus say they hope the efforts are genuine and not just about politics.
My concern with any administration, whether Democratic or Republican, is that African Americans are not being used as a tool for political opportunism.
Indiana Congressman Andre Carson is a Democrat and member of the Congressional Black Caucus.
I think any outreach from any administration, whether Democratic or Republican, to the black community in a very real way, not a symbolic way, to grow businesses and empower black businesses is always important.
The White House points to the entrepreneurs at this week's event as evidence the administration's programs are working. Reporting in Washington, I'm Trevor Shirley.
Coming up, highlights from a wild finish at Clemson today, and two teams with only one shot at the finals find out who won in the GHS, a Final Four.
And as we move throughout our week, our temperature is going to be above average on a lot of days. Our highs especially sticking above average or right at average for most of the week. So highs feeling like spring, but lows here over the next few days. You'll notice pretty chilly tomorrow morning and then taking a swing up above that average line for most of the rest of the week.
In life, there are talkers and there are doers. Mike Bloomberg has spent his life getting things done. Started a company from scratch, creating 20,000 good-paying jobs. That's getting it done. As mayor, he rebuilt a shaken city after 9/11, created over 450,000 jobs, expanded healthcare to 700,000, and raised teacher pay. Elected for 3 terms because he got things done. Mike beat the NRA, strengthening gun laws. He beat big coal, closing over 300 dirty coal-fired plants. Mike is still getting things done. So ask yourself, for president, do you want a debater or a doer? Someone with workable, common-sense plans to fix healthcare and create jobs, who's done both. Mike has the record and resources to beat Trump, and it'll take both, but Mike will get it done.
I'm Mike Bloomberg, and I approve this message.
You want deals? This is your chance. Because right now at Milton Rubin Toyota, you'll find deals that are almost too good to be true. Lease a new 2020 Tacoma, just $189 per month. Lease a new 2020 Ram 4, only $249 per month. Plus, we pay top dollar for trades. So if you want to drive a brand new Toyota, stop what you're doing and hurry in to your whatever it takes dealer. Milton Rubin Toyota today.
DriveBaby.com.
Lottery games should always be played for fun and never come before responsibilities, family, friends, or work. Visit playresponsibly.sc.com.
Now, WJBF sports coverage you can count on.
Now, there were not many other places you would have wanted to be this Saturday than in Milledgeville for the GHSA Final Four. And for the first time in quite a while, we had 2 local teams who battled for a spot in the title game. So in Class 2A, Glen Hills, the Spartans taking on the Swainsboro Tigers. Definitely a home-type game for the Tigers. Picking up first quarter, the Tigers were feeling it too. Here is Artis Kingsbury. Up the court, he throws the lob to Fred Sebro, who almost brings the house down right there. Then second quarter was all about the Spartans, so Emmanuel Jones here spots up for 3, knocks it down, count the foul, and Jones was just feeling it. Here at the free throw line following the foul, misses his shot, gets his own rebound, puts it back up, and he is fired up, getting those Spartans ready. Now Marshall gives to Jones this time another 3 ball. He finished with 25 points. Tigers only led by 2 at the first half. Now, second half was a different story. Swainsboro came out the gates. Kingsbury, another triple, then more great defense. Kingsbury to Sebro. We saw this all night as Sebro puts the nail in the coffin right there. Swainsboro wins 79-62. A very chippy game in the end, but here's Coach on what he told his team at halftime.
Like I told him all year long, you gotta believe. You just gotta believe. You know, we're gonna win the game. Is what I've been telling them all year long at halftime. We will win the game. So don't get frustrated. I got you. We've been down this road before. And so, you know, I mean, last year, we didn't make the playoffs, so now they got a chip on their shoulder. So there ain't nothing nobody can do or say to stop this team.
The Tigers get thorough on March 5th. Hats off to the Spartans for a great season, though. Now, prior to a hiccup to Georgia Tech earlier in the week, Clemson had won 3 straight, now hosting number 6 Florida State. Tigers 2-1 over top 10 teams this season. And under 2 minutes ago in the second half, Clemson trailing by 1. Tevin Mack. Return of the Mack. We got to show you that twice. As he bears the triple, Clemson takes the lead with under 2 minutes to go. Tigers up 65-63. 1 minute to go, tied at 65. John Newman III drives, hits the jumper, and Clemson back on top by 2. Under 30 left. Florida State down 3. Trent Forrest goes to the basket, lays it in. Knowles down 1. 15 seconds to go. Knowles trailing, and Forrest again gets into the lane for the floater. Tiger freshman said, Amir Dawes says, I'll do this myself. He brings it up the court, takes it in the paint, gets the bucket to go, and Florida State will get one more heave, but it's not enough. Clemson takes it 76-9 as the fans storm the court. Now, senior day over at Christenberry Fieldhouse as Augusta hosts Georgia College in their final game of the regular season. It's only right senior Rafael Monteiro was on point here. He gets it down low for the nice finish off the glass. But Georgia College, no slouch in this matchup here. Jordan Thomas gets the steal, takes it back up the court for the finish after beating Miguel Arnold on the layup. But again, Rafael coming through when needed, knocked down the triple. He scored his 2000th career point as a Jag in OT as they won 76-69. Now, scores from Saturday hoops. Lander takes down the Pacers 65-54. South Carolina 86 to Alabama's 90, a close one right there. Georgia defeated Arkansas 99-89, while Georgia Tech picks up another big win as they got the best of Miami 63-57. Now, in women's sports, or women's hoops, I should say, Georgia College falls to Augusta on senior day 65-51, while USC Aiken gets the big win over Lander 75-55.
A lot of good games on today.
A lot of great games, a lot of good ones down there in Milledgeville. Not just the Glen Hills game, but everyone that was out there. There was a lot of thrillers happening out there this afternoon.
Oh yeah, congratulations to all our winners. So Colin, how much do you like cats?
Well, I'll pass.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say the same. Well, coming up, we will tell you how much Americans cashed out on cats this past year.
Michael likes cats, I know that.
I'm more of a dog person, but John Hart is a lover of all cats.
That he is. You're right.
Rain chances as we move through the next few days. You can see plenty of rain chances out there. I'm sure the cats don't want to get wet, but I can tell you my Labradoodle hates getting wet too. We'll talk more about animals, I guess, after the break.
It's Lucky Days Coupon Craze at Badcock Home Furniture and more. See our insert or visit badcock.com for thousands in coupon savings and no credit refused. Plus, get a free TV or adjustable base with purchase of a select mattress set. And bedroom sets are starting at just $4.98, all with 0 down and 0% interest for 24 months. It's Lucky Days Coupon Craze at Badcock Home Furniture and more.
There's no better way to start the day than a firm handshake with a soft, buttery, meaty Bojangles Country Ham Biscuit. Well, unless you got 2 of them. Double handshake. Get 2 Country Ham Biscuits for just $3. It's Bo time.
We got a full tank of gas. We got breakfast. We don't need to stop for hours.
Okay, ready for a stop?
Okay, ready for a stop. That's what I'm talking about.
Right now, choose 2 of your select breakfast favorites for just $2 with McDonald's 2 for $2 mix and match breakfast pairings.
Did you pack lunch too?
Mm-hmm.
We should get something to
Yeah, I'm on it.
There's a better way to breakfast.
I'm Rick Busby with Busby's Heating and Air Conditioning. It's Free Furnace February at Busby's. Winter is the slowest time of the year, so we've created one of our best offers ever. Purchase a qualifying carrier system from Busby's and get the air handler or furnace for that system absolutely free. Free Furnace February has been extended through March 15th. It's a great value. Busby's, your carrier factory authorized dealer. Turn to the experts.
Give Busby's a buzz and we'll be there.
Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger is securing the vote.
Securing the vote is my #1 priority.
That's why Georgia is upgrading to an auditable paper ballot system. protecting ballot integrity and making sure every ballot is counted. It's a new system that works for all Georgians.
That's how we're securing the vote.
Visit securevotega.com to learn more. Paid for by Help America Vote Act.
The latest headlines, live radar, game highlights, cool contests. It's all on WJBF.com. Not in front of a TV? Stream live newscasts anywhere on your computer and mobile devices. WJBF.com is coverage you can count on.
Here's that 7-day forecast as we work through the end of the weekend. Looking good tomorrow, sunny skies, but you see the rain chances rolling in for the middle of the week, which I know a lot of folks not thrilled with, but at least your weekends look pretty nice, question mark.
Thank you, Micah. Well, finally tonight, the American Pets Products Association says we spend more than $95 billion on cats. Wow.
What's this wee business?
Just last year. That's what I want to know. Most of that money went to food and treats. The next largest category was vet care and health-related products, ranking in just over $29 billion. Pet owners also spent more than $10 billion on services like boarding, grooming, and training.
That's kind of ironic because cats kind of seem to take care of themselves.
Right.
Isn't that like the whole thing about cats?
Just like barely do anything and they take care of themselves. That's why people like them.
Yeah.
That is a good point. I mean,
low maintenance.
Yeah, that's what I like. Yeah, low maintenance.
I don't hate, like, I'm a dog person, but that doesn't mean I hate cats.
Yeah.
I just,
of course.
I'm just like weary of cats because I feel like if my dog was like 10 feet tall, it'd just be like Clifford the big red dog. But if my cat was like 10 feet tall, it'd be like a tiger and eat me. So I'm always watching those cats like I'm got my eye on them.
Just like at the zoo, right?
Right.
Exactly.
But I don't hate cats, folks. Please don't write in Facebook messages. Please don't.
We all love cats. But that's our report for now. Thank you so much for being with us. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. Good night.